Manifesting treasures, the power of positive thoughts. Today on I Love Loose Figures. Shopping, thrifting is something we all love to do. That's why we're here. It's what we do. And it's amazing how when you can think about something and it'll appear. Has it ever happened to you? Comment below. I want to know if that's ever happened to you. What are you talking about, Vo? Well, I'm going to talk about that. That's what we're here for today. There was a point last week that two things happened to me. Shifting my gears, shopping at the As Is outlet. I work at the outlet, and so it's crazy. I walk around after hours when the store shut down, and I see all this cool stuff that people leave behind. And I'm like, how are people not buying this stuff? And I had talked to my wife a few weeks before this, and she saw something online that was a different character. And I go, if you ever see the Mario one of this, let me know. I want to get it. Well, I see it. It's one of those vintage scribble on mats, and you lift it up and it erases the whole thing. It was Super Mario Bros. I was like, how did nobody buy this? And it even had the pin in it still. It was in really, really good shape. And I'm like, man, that's cool. Why didn't anyone buy that? So I picked it up, looked at it, I set it back down, and I go, okay, if it's meant for me to get it, I'll come in tomorrow and buy it. The next day was my day off. I didn't go. I was like, no, I had too much stuff going on. I just didn't want to go to work and shop on my day off. I was like, okay, it's not there. Then the day after that, I go into my work hoping to find the item, but it's not going to happen because it's been 2 days. I didn't find it. I found a lot of cool stuff. I had a great conversation with one of my regular customers, if I could talk today. I'll get to that conversation in a moment. But then a couple of days later happened, no idea. I'm talking to a friend of mine, talking to Micah, good friend of mine, a part of the channel here. You see his face a lot. And we're talking about stuff, and then I bring up Nintendo. And he's like, oh, speaking of Nintendo, check out what I found. He went over, grabbed his phone. He showed me a picture. I started freaking out. It was the pad. Check this out, guys. I'm so happy to have this in my collection. As you see, I love my Mario. I've even got the tattoo, if you never noticed. I've got Mario Brothers 3. But this is so rad. I am super happy about this. This is in my PC, which is what we call personal collection. It ain't going nowhere. And I'm super happy about this. I mean, look how nice and clean it is. From 1988 or 1989. It's in super good shape. So the thoughts of man, I really need it. If you really need it, it's going to come to you. It may not happen overnight because, that'd be too easy. But things will come to you. The power of thought, positive thinking. You want to have that mindset when you're a shopper or just in life in general, because you never know what's going to happen in life. Positive thinking, positive thoughts. That's what you need. Now let's continue to the second story. But before I do, if you're getting great content today, comment below your favorite find at a thrift store or a way that positive thinking has changed your life. So to get back into the conversation, seeing I love hockey, right? The guy I was speaking with, he collects vintage hats. He buys, he resells, he collects, all that fun stuff. And he came up to me as we're waiting for the tables to turn. And he's like, hey man, so what are you looking for? When you come here for hats, if you're buying hats, what are you looking for? I'm like, well, if I'm going to get hats, I don't collect hats. I usually buy them to wear. But if I was going to collect and when I was looking for something, it'd be anything hockey. It could be vintage or, present day. And he's like, okay, I'll keep my eyes out. The turn happens. I'm going to say 20 minutes after our conversation, I'm in that same location picking through the tables. He's on the other side of the bins. I'm picking. And all of a sudden I hear, hey, Steve, do you want this? I look up and I see him up like this. And all I see is Mighty and purple. That's right. Mighty Ducks. Vintage Logo 7 hat. In really, really good shape. He says he hardly ever finds hockey, let alone vintage. And this is the first time that he'd ever found a vintage hockey hat. We had just talked about it that day. And my friend, my brother, Richard, is a diehard Ducks fan. So that hat's going to him. And he is super stoked to get that hat. All because of power, of thought, of conversation. We manifested it. Now, was it a miracle? I don't know if it was a miracle, but it's definitely something to think about. Because we had just had that conversation. And every time I see him, we're talking. He's like, I can't believe that happened. We just talked about that day. And I'm like, I know. I can't believe that happened too. So it's crazy to think that we need to keep our minds straight. There's times that we want to get dumb and we want to just get lost in our thoughts. Stop. Pause. It's all about a mindset, a soul set, and a heart set. Comment below. Like, subscribe, make the world go around if that made your day. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. We're all about pop culture and talking about the community of pop culture collecting. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.